Just a little bit and see what the message in here is for us. So first and foremost, all praises to the Most High God, creator of heaven and earth. And we thank Him for all the many blessings He has poured upon us. I thank Him for giving us the knowledge of what time it is, for it is a serious time for Israel. And this is a time where we have to do a lot of soul searching and to examine our lives so that we may be able to get back on track if by any chance we did get off track. And so this is a great system that the Most High has created for us. I want to thank God for my teacher, late Chief RAPHAELBENDAN, Shalom Alive, and also honor to the spiritual leader, Rabbi Shlomo, to all the rabbis, to Gabbi Shlomo that is here with us today, assisting us. So, like I said, this is reading is from Deuteronomy 31st chapter, from Vayelech. It's a very short portion, so we're not going to take too long on it. We'll go pretty quickly. But I'm trying to tie in the Teshuvah, to return, with this reading, because that's what our minds is more focused on. And so we see that in 31st chapter, 1st verse, and Moses went and spoke these words unto all Israel. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. And the Lord hath said unto me, thou shalt not go over this Jordan. So here he is, he's 120 years old. And even though he says, I can't go in and out anymore, it doesn't mean that he was weak or anything. It's just that the Most High had told him, this is it. This is the end of the road for you. And Moses really wanted to continue, as we read in previous chapters, but the Most High told him, I don't want to discuss this anymore. Your faith has already been sealed, and that's the end of the story. But yet Moses still is thinking about it, and this is the point we're at today, where we're reflecting on life. And I'm sure at that point Moses, although it doesn't go into it in here, but I'm sure he took time to reflect on his own life. And that was part of his assessment, that I haven't even finished accomplishing the goal, my mission that I had. But the Most High said, that's it, and I must accept that. And that is a lesson we can all learn, is that there comes a time when we have to accept what the Most High is telling us. Whether it's pleasant or not pleasant, whether it's something that, we really wanted to do it, so that's it. So we have to be wise enough to say, okay, I submit to your will, Most High. However, at this time that we are here, we're also asking the Most High to give us an extension for next year, so that we may accomplish the things, the mission that we're on, so that we can achieve the things that we would like to do. And so right now is a time where we should do, like I said, a lot of inner search. And one of the best times to do that is to be between 4 and 6 in the morning. Yes, because that's when it's quiet. And you do journaling. And there's no distractions. And you get in touch with your subconscious better. Because when you're during the day, you got all the hustle and bustle, you're not as much in touch with yourself. So this is the best time for meditation as well, because you can really hear that inner voice and really get to know yourself. Because there's somebody inside of you that sometimes you lose touch of. And every now and then you have to reach deep down to get into that. So that's why you need sometimes that quiet place and space to talk to yourself and listen to the Most High and what He's going to tell you. So Moses is reflecting on his life. The first 40 years of his life, he was passing. He was passing as an Egyptian, living the good life, until he couldn't take it anymore. Because something was speaking to him and says, these are my people, I really feel for them. And then, of course, by him showing his true colors, that put him in jeopardy. And he lost that $250,000 a year job that he had. He lost that Lexus and BMW, the big house and all that. He had to run for his life. And he spent the next 40 years with his father-in-law, his wife, and he was tending the sheep. And this is where the Most High touched him, and that's where he found his mission in life. That's when he found. So he was 80 years old before he found out what the purpose of his life was. Now, a lot of us, we go through life, routine. But some of us don't have a mission. Some of us don't know where we're going, but we're going because we don't have no choice. That's how life is. So if you don't have a goal or a destination where you're going, life will take you wherever it takes you. But it's going to take you somewhere. So what you want to do is take this time out to think about this. Where do I want to go? What type of person do I want to be? Also, what have I accomplished this far? How have I been? Has it been working for me? Has it not been working for me? Where can I make an adjustment? And if this was good, let me keep that and do that. So you don't want to just throw out everything you've done, because I'm sure everything you've done hasn't been a waste, but there is room for improvement. So that's why we really need to take the time out and to go deep, where we're not trying to impress anybody. It's just you and yourself, and really being honest with yourself. And if there is something that needs to be corrected, then you need to come up with a game plan. Actual action steps that you're going to do to strengthen you. Because if you just acknowledge it and don't come up with a plan, again, just like that, you're just going along. And wherever it takes you, it takes you. So in life, you have to have a plan and a mission. It's good to know where I want to go, but okay, how am I going to get there? And that's where when you sit down and you develop that plan, you may not develop it the first day. It's a work in progress. But now, what we really have to examine is, how are we treating one another? Because that's what the Most High is looking at, the type of person you are. Not only are you keeping His commandments, but are you being... Actually, if you are keeping His commandments, you will treat your neighbor righteously. But if you're not keeping His commandments, then there are chances that you'll be violating other people. And that's the thing. But also, besides that, God is saying you should have no other gods beside me or before me. So He doesn't want you, because I've met people where they have their feet on both bases. They have their feet in Christianity, and they have their feet in this way of life, because they read certain things and say, oh, I got to keep that. But if they really read this law, because it doesn't say it once, it says it over and over. Don't follow after the nations. Don't have other gods of wood, silver, or whatever. But it blows my mind how they can still hold on to that and say, I want to do God's law. So they'll come out to the high holy days, because they read it in the book. And for some reason it resonates with them, but yet you still want to hold on to that false God. So, to me, it blows my mind. But then again, maybe that's the level the Most High has them. And I pray for them that they will wake up to go all the way. But I would say, if you want to be a Christian, be a Christian. If you want to be an Israelite, follow God's law, do that. But don't be playing both bases. That's why the psalmist or the prophet says, why halt ye between two opinions? Make up your mind. Don't be on the fence. So if you want to serve God, serve Him. But in order to do that, you also have to know what it is that He wants you to do. And that only comes from studying and praying. And that is why we read this Torah throughout the year. Because in it, all the gems, all the keys to life are in it. And it's not like, in some cases it's very obvious, but other ones you have to just pick the gems out, because they reveal to you a little here, a little there. It's not given to you all at once, because if it did, it'll blow your circuits. Your nervous system will just fry. And that happens to people, because there are people that I've heard of that study this so much. That's all they do, right? That's why it says, have a worldly occupation as well. Because you're living in a physical and spiritual world. So we have to be able to balance the two. But if you delve only into this, you got to be like a Moses to be able to withstand all that knowledge. Because the average person will just blow out. And there are people that all they do is study this, and they walk around here like they're really not in this world anymore. They're like somewhere else. So the thing is, we have to learn to balance. And so Moses, at this point, he's examining his life, and he's still a little unsatisfied that he hasn't accomplished everything. So here, hopefully the Most High will give us that opportunity to be able to achieve what we want in the coming year. But at this time too, we need to thank the Most High for the last however many years we've been around. Of course, everybody here is a different age. But we also, there's a time to be thankful. Because I'm sure as you take inventory of last year, there are many things to be thankful for. And that's why you can say Torah for all the blessings. So, and then we see where he says, and the Lord thy God, yes, I can no longer go over Jordan. And the Lord thy God, he will go over before thee. He will destroy these nations before thee, and thou wilt dispossess them. And Joshua, he shall go over thee before thee, as the Lord has spoken. So he's saying, don't be afraid that now that I'm not here anymore, you're going to have a leader. And the Most High is going to go with you. And that's the most important thing. And that goes to show us that don't depend on people. You have to depend on the Most High God. Whether the people are with you or not with you, your main mission is to serve the Most High. Don't do it for people, because people can disappoint you. People will leave you. They'll come and go. But the Most High is a constant in your life if you hold on to Him. And of course, sometimes we may stray a little bit, but we don't want to stray to the point where we reach the point of no return. And this is why the Most High has established Yom Kippur, because he realizes that we may stray a bit, but on Yom Kippur, between Yom Teruah and Yom Kippur, it gives us a chance. So the book of life is open, according to the rabbis. There's a rabbinical teaching. So during that time, you can make amends. And at the end of Yom Kippur, the book of life is closed. And say all those that are going to be sealed are written in the book. So that is why every year when you come back around, you'll see some of us are still here, some are no longer there. So that's when you actually find out whether your name was sealed in the book or not sealed in the book, is next time we come around. So this is a very important time to take reflection. This is not the time where you should be at the club tonight, or a party, because there's a distractions. I know we all do go parties and stuff like that, but there's a time, for everything. So this is the seriousness of this time, It's not, I know, maybe in the old days they used to walk around with sackcloth and all that. We don't have to go to that extreme, but we really should take, go inside and see how we could change our ways if necessary, or to continue to strengthen the areas that we're doing good in. So here, you've all read this section today, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm just going to go through it. I'm not going to read everything. And basically, he gives Joshua a charge. And he did that in front of everybody. And the reason why he did that is because so that people can see the transfer of power. Just like when Obama became president. The transfer of power. Everybody sees that. So that makes it official. So now they know that Joshua was going to be the one to lead them into the promised land. And so basically the Most High will continue to be with them, and then he told Moses, I want you to go and die. I mean, that's a pretty harsh thing to say, but Moses, being a man of understanding, accepted that. And since he had already did all he could do, so I guess one of the lessons here is that for us, when we get to the point where we have to die, we should accept that by how? By making sure how affairs are in order. My wife is always telling me, you got to make sure that you get your plot, so that when you die, you don't leave a burden on others. So that's a mature mind that comes to face that. Because most people don't want to face that. Because when they buy that plot or make arrangements, that's like saying, I'm going to die. So a lot of people just don't even want to deal with that. But what you do is you leave a burden on other people. Because we all are going to die at some point. And of course, we don't want to die, but just like Moses, we don't want to go. Not now, Lord, but still, it's a reality that we need to make those arrangements. So, the other thing that Moses was telling them is that, and the Most High revealed to them, is that the people that you're leading, they don't want to do right while you're alive. So can you imagine how they're going to be when you're gone? And that's why he says, I call heaven and earth to be a witness, because this is what they're going to do. And time has proven it. But the thing is that the Most High also gave us an option. He gave us an out. He said, if you keep my commandments and do them, I will bless you. So, the choice is ours. So whether we have a blessed life or not a blessed life, it all depends on the Most High, but the Most High has put it in our hands as to whether we want this or we want that. So again, we have to do more soul searching and learn from the experiences that are left on record for us so that we could do that which is right. So basically, and the other thing that he says, be strong and courageous. So don't be afraid. As long as you're doing the right thing, stand by it, and even though it may be challenging, yeah, people might be against you, but if you stay strong and courageous, you will come out victorious at the end of the day. So basically, that's all I have to say regarding that, because I found out at the last minute that Rabbi wasn't coming, but nevertheless, the message is in here. You know, the Most High has a message for us. So at this time, I will open for any comments or clarification or a testimony. Yes.
I just wanted to ask a question when he's referring to this song. Is that in any of the songs that we're singing, the songs that he's teaching them to testify against them? Is that any of the songs that he's singing?
I don't know.
Is that a real song?
That's a good question. Is it a real song or not a real song? I'm sure it is a song, but they didn't go into the details. But the song that
Moses did write a song.
he did, there are a few songs, but she's wondering, is this particular song one of the previous songs? Because we know that when, after the Egyptians were dead on the sea, they sang a song. So there are a few. I think Hazinu is a song also, which we're going to be reading next week. And within that, there is a message. And although it may not say, you shall love the Lord thy God with all your heart, but if you read through it and in between the lines, you'll see that it glorifies God. So those are the things that will be a witness against you, because if you do go astray and you remember that song, then you'll know you shouldn't be doing it. But it's not only just a song. There are so many other things in the Torah that reminds us. It's like Rabbi Baruch said last week, that when you go into the land, on one side, on one mountain you had some writing, on the other mountain. And then when you're on your mezuzah, which you had explained, that the mezuzah itself is actually the doorpost. So when you say you should write them on the doorpost of your house, so what we have is a zikron now, which has a prayer in it, and we put it on there. So the intent is there, but it's not the literal execution of the law. But the main thing is that you understand what's in the mezuzah. And all those are reminders. When you put your seats on, those are reminders of the commandments. So the more you do to surround yourself with these reminders, the less excuses you have to say, I didn't know, or I didn't remember. Just like when we go on Yom Kippur and the High Holy Days, Rabbi Matthews taught us to dress in white. And what it does, because white is a symbol of purity, and it puts you in a different frame of mind, because you're more aware that this is not a regular day. So you're making a special effort. So because if you come in with your regular clothes, also that takes away some of that awareness. So the setting that you put yourself in enhances your awareness. You know, that's why, you don't need certain distractions. And that awareness and that frame of mind that you generate by making that extra preparation takes you to a higher level. Correct? And the frame of mind, your frame of mind is probably the most important thing you want to guard. Because your frame of mind determines how you behave. Your frame of mind determines on what you will do and will not do. So that's why you want to set a setting that enhances a certain behavior. Make sense? And that's what we strive for. And we strive to be our best selves. And the best tool we have is the mind. And that's what God gave us. The ability to think, to reason, to make choices, and also He gave us the ability to feel. Because it's not always about logic. It's about the feelings, the vibrations that you pick up on, and the vibrations you put out. Because we're like magnets. We attract the things we think about. You ever think of something and poof, there it comes. It's not magic, but it's the energy that's coming from you. And it could be good or bad. That's why I say watch your thoughts. So this is a very special time where you want to monitor your thoughts. Just like Sister Paul said, Rabbi used to teach certain thoughts. You got to catch them as soon as they come in. You have to eradicate them out of your. Oh, I don't want that thought in my head.
That's right, that's right.
Get back.
And it'll go back.
But if you entertain that thought can start to grow. And then next thing you know, you said something, where did that come from? Well, that's because that thought put a seed in there and it grew into something. It's a negative vibration. That's why it's so important what you do during the week. The music you listen to during the week. I know they have some dope beats out there, you know. Make your head, make your body sway and everything. But then you wonder why all of a sudden you start cursing. What? Where did that come from? Oh yeah, I know where that came from. But then you develop that attitude. It's an attitude, a vibration. And so, again, we need to be strong enough for us. Yeah, I know music sounds good, but maybe I need to change that channel. Or maybe I'll just put the instrumental on it. Then I won't be influenced by the negativity that comes with it. And that's why opposing forces are very clever. That's why they make it appealing. Because if it wasn't appealing, nobody would go for it. So they package it in such a nice way that, oh, it's harmless. Nothing wrong with it. But it sneaks in there and it grows. Like I say, all that glitters ain't gold. But it's enticing. So again, that's why you need that self-examination and go deep and see and pluck out those things that really is a negative influence. It's not working for me. Maybe I need to get rid of that. I need to let it go. Maybe I need to start something new. And then, of course, you got this resource. You can go in here.
Thank you.
To get inspiration and guidance. Although it's already in you. But sometimes you need a little extra to hear what the other great minds have to say, what the other righteous people have to say. And sometimes all they say is not all good. They have both good and bad, and you have to learn and see, okay, that was a good example of what not to do. So any other, I know I might have went off on a tangent here, but any other, yes.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I just would like to say, I like what you said about soul searching in this season. And I think that a question that everyone should ask who am I and what is my purpose? You know, because like you say, you know, sometimes we go about just living our daily lives and we don't know what our purpose is. You know, so I think it's important to ask the Most High, what is our purpose here?
Right.
You know, so,
Okay.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom. Any other comments? Yes.
Basically, I know I'm God. And listen to what she just said. One answer that I have for you, we had read in Torah last week, that God gave us choices to do good. And your purpose is to do good, to do God's commandments, to fear God. And when you do that, that puts you in line with the main purpose. Fear God and love Him with all your heart, soul, to give you guidance. And the second I want to say that I loved about this Torah reading, that Moses himself had to write the Torah again. Sometimes that's an insight for us. He wrote it again to warn us. And as we read the last verse in the Torah, he said, because I know you're going to rebel and rebuke, but I warn y'all. I wrote this Torah again so that he could keep us in line. But he knew we may go off, but he left the writing for us to do.
Right.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah. And he also said you should read it every 7 days. I mean,
Yes.
7 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think this is
Teach.
publicly.
Yes.
And this is where the public reading come from. But now we don't wait 7 years. We do this every Shabbat. We have the public reading. That's why when we read the Torah, and of course the goal is for us to learn to the Hebrew so that we could actually understand it. But we do go over sometimes the English part because the most important thing is not just hearing the word. You have to hear and understand the word. And that's why,
And to do it.
and to do it.
That's
Right. Because to hear is only, well, that's the beginning of it. But then it has to be put into action. And so that's why I say, some people say knowledge is power, but the more accurate is knowledge is potential power. Until you put it to use, it doesn't do anything for you. So sometimes just knowledge of knowing what not to do, that's an action in itself, or discipline enough to restrain yourself. So that's what knowledge is, potential power. And it's only by doing that we get the benefits. But it all starts with the mind, the thought, because the thought, as Rabbi Levi always used to say, he used to quote Chief Rabbi Matthews. Let me see if I can remember this. He says, thoughts are the dynamic forces by which, thoughts are the embryos of manifestation and something like that. So in other words, before, what you think, as you think, so you are. So it all begins with a thought. And a thought is the embryo of manifestation. So before it actually comes to life, it starts to develop in your mind. And then when it actually comes out, that's when it's real. And that's why it's so important for us to mind our thoughts and to learn to develop our thoughts or our mind, because the untrained mind is like a boat on water, right? And that goes this way and that, wherever the waves. So one of the best ways to learn to control the mind is, again, meditation. When you sit with yourself, sometimes when you're not writing, now you're contemplating, is just sit quietly. Sit still. Don't move a muscle. And you'll see all the thoughts that are going through your mind. And you might not even be able to stay there 5 minutes because you have so many things. But as you start to train yourself, you'll quiet the mind. And now the mind will serve you as opposed to you being impulsive and letting the mind or whatever thoughts that come to your mind for you to act on. Whereas when you learn to still that mind, then you become in control. And you have no excuses. You won't be like Flip Wilson. Well, the devil made me do it. Because you will be in control. And you can't blame anybody else. So because if you're in control and you have the right intentions, and you're doing God's will and you align yourself with the Most High, that's where the blessings come. Because the blessings are out there.
Amen. Amen.
You just got to align yourself with it. And it all starts with your thoughts. With that, unless there's any other questions, I say Shabbat Shalom. Have a blessed day and pray to see you on Yom Kippur. And that we'll be able to, the Most High will continue to bless us. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
What a mighty God we serve.